Our bathroom seems to have developed a mould problem, and aside from the fact that the company which renovated it before we moved in didn't paint it with the correct paint, the next biggest problem is of course humidity. Now I've already had a decent quiet extractor fan fitted which I control with Home Assistant, and it's running almost constantly to try and keep the humidity down. But on top of that, we also find ourselves constantly opening and closing the window in there whenever we have a shower, to try and accelerate the humidity returning to normal. And I've even added announcements to remind me to open it and close it after it returns back below that threshold, so we don't waste too much heat. So today I'm once again cleaning off all of that mould, and because I'm tired of doing this and manually opening and closing the window, I'm adding some more smarts. I recently found this window motor, which is basically the same sort of thing as I already have on the skylight in my kitchen, except it was half the price on AliExpress. I'll put a link to it on my website as usual. Now in my testing so far, the only downside to this AliExpress version is that the 4 wires don't behave in quite the same way as my existing motor. On my existing motor, if I apply power to both wires, it will close. So I can essentially control the motor with a single relay input by just toggling the close on and off. With this one, if I apply power to both, nothing happens. So I have to separately apply power to the live wires to open it and close it, which is fine. It will take a little bit of extra automation to make sure that this works cleanly, but I can do this with a 2-channel relay like the Shelly 2 I have here. So the first thing I'm going to do is head to Settings, Devices and Services, Helpers, and create a new toggle helper. I'm going to name it Bathroom Window, and I'm going to give it an appropriate icon and click Create. Once I have my helper, I'm going to go back to Settings, Automations, and create a new automation. Now as you can see here, I spent quite a while tinkering with this automation, deciding on the best way that I can structure the automation. I ultimately decided that the best approach was to trigger the automation whenever the bathroom window helper is toggled on or off, and then check in the automation whether it had been turned on or off. This is so that I can first turn off the opposing switch on the relay, wait a moment, and then turn on the one to move the window in the desired direction. Then I timed how long it took the window motor to reach the desired position, and it was about just under 12 seconds in either direction. So now I add a 12-second wait, and then turn both of those relay switches off when I'm done. And so the final result is something that looks a bit like this, which is basically what I've just described. When we toggle that helper, check which direction we need to move it, turn off the other switch, turn on the right switch, wait 12 seconds, and turn them both off. And this ensures that the window moves in the desired direction every time without them both being on at the same time and locking it up. Now to move on to fitting the actual motor. And this took much longer than I care to admit. The issue was I didn't really map out well enough where everything was going to go, especially on a PVC window. When I did this for my skylight, it has a wooden frame, and so it didn't really matter where I put things. But with this window, I kept hitting metal and was so fearful of hitting glass that it just took ages. Now, since we already have an electrical junction down here with a smart relay in to control this electric radiator, I can run a cable out of here up into the window area to connect the dual channel relay to control the window motor. And hopefully it goes without saying here that please don't do anything like this at home if you don't know what you are doing. Simply hire an electrician to do it for you so that they can do it properly. So now with all that said and done and tidied up, I can now manage the humidity constantly with the quiet extractor fan, and if it gets really high, like when we have a shower, I can now also automatically open the window until it gets back into a reasonable range to manage it with the fan alone again. Now I'm obviously going to be repainting the ceiling with mold resistant paint, but this should make a huge difference to us in the meantime, saving us from having to remember to open and close the window and wasting loads of energy on the gas heating and the electric heater in there as well by accidentally leaving the window open. If you like builds like this, be sure to follow me and subscribe on all of my various channels, and support the channel itself in any way that you can using the links over on my website, including by purchasing one of these for yourselves. And as always, if you made it this far, thanks for watching, and remember, home is where the smart is.